one another. Baseball
Ladies and gentlemen,
for the people.
we have Tuck up there in Washington
Imagine a world
doing us
where
a
you
favor.
have
There is
agenda
not a
everything.
whole lot of links and people that is live streaming this. He is going to try to get what he can.
Demos, contracts,
He is at the
coaching,
Capitol
forecasting,
steps as far as I know, the last time I talked to him. And, oh, there he is.
Family deserve to know his whereabouts, and the American people deserve to know the truth of what happened to Mr. Shah Alam. When someone is in federal custody, their family should never have to question their safety. That's especially true when they're wrongfully detained. That's why I introduced the DHS Release Transparency Act, legislation that requires DHS to provide notification to families or another point of contact in advance of their loved one being released from custody. Right now, there is no law requiring DHS to notify a point of contact before releasing a detainee. My bill closes that gap. It requires DHS to make families aware of their loved one's upcoming release prior to release from custody in order to ensure their safety and well-being. It also mandates translation and interpretation services throughout the entirety of the notification process, ensuring DHS communicates with detainees and their point of contact in a language that they can understand. Today, Narul Amin Shah Alam should be surrounded by his family, full of hope for the memories that they were about to make. Instead, they searched frantically for him for 5 days in the Buffalo winter cold, only to find their worst nightmare realized when he was found dead on the street in downtown Buffalo, 5 miles from his home. This was a completely avoidable tragedy. This legislation is a concrete step toward accountability and ensuring that no family ever has to go through what Mr. Shah Alam's family has. Shah Alam's family attorney recently stated that had this bill been law, Mr. Shah Alam would be alive and at home with his family today. Sadly, this wasn't the case. This legislation will save lives and prevent future tragedies like what happened in Buffalo from ever happening anywhere across this great nation. Now it's my great honor to introduce a friend, a champion, and a leader on this legislation from New Jersey, Representative Veronica. Got it?
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank Congressman Kennedy for gathering us here today and for doing the urgent work of forcing transparency and accountability from ICE. It is so needed. With this administration, we are truly witnessing the governance of monsters. When it comes to ICE and DHS, we have learned a painful lesson over and over again. When there is no transparency, there is no accountability. And when there is no accountability, abuse follows. I've seen it personally. I've been to the ICE detention center in my district multiple times. I've spoken with detainees, their family members, advocates about the horrors people are experiencing inside of Delaney Hall. I have listened to stories that should outrage every person in this country. Food that is green and rotten, even containing live.
It's still about 14 minutes
pregnant
away
and suffering
before
miscarriages
David Grusch
without
speaks.
medical attention.
I didn't know there was anything
41-year-old
else
man
they were going
named
to talk about,
John
but I'll
Wilson
hush.
Brutus died within 24 hours of entering Delaney Hall ICE Detention Center. This isn't simply an issue with Delaney Hall, it's about how ICE is rotten to the core. There is an overwhelming proof of this rot in the lives, and it lives in families that they have broken because of ICE's cruelty. One of those stories is Narul Amin Shah Alam. Mr. Shah Alam came to America seeking safety and opportunity. Instead, after being released from DHS custody, neither his family nor his attorney was notified. No one knew where he was. No one knew he needed help. DHS simply dropped him off at a closed coffee shop in winter weather without proper clothing. 5 days after his release, he was found dead. One phone call could have changed everything. A simple phone call. But transparency isn't what ICE does. These instances are not random. And they're not just reckless, They are intentionally deceptive and cruel. That is why this bill matters. The DHS Police Transparency Act is an effort to hold DHS accountable, to make sure that they can't hide, to make sure that what happened to Mr. Shah Alam never happens again. Operating in secret, lying about details, and hiding information is exactly what gives ICE and DHS the power to abuse our neighbors. We are saying that it ends now. No one's family should have to panic about where their loved one is or wonder if their loved one is alive. This is basic. The same principle that drives our oversight works at Delaney Hall is what drives this legislation. People in government custody do not stop being people just because they are in government custody. Not now, not ever. Thank you all for being here.
Next, we're going to hear from another wonderful leader and champion within the caucus or across this great nation from California, Representative Judy Chu.
Hello, I'm Congressmember Judy Chu from California and Chair Emerita of the Congressional Asian Pacific American Caucus. And I am here to support Congressman Kennedy and all of you today as we demand accountability from Trump's lawless Department of Homeland Security. You know, 70% of Asian Pacific Islanders are limited English proficient. And in Mr. Shah Alam's death, I see the plight of AAPI immigrants all across this country, where language access can be the difference between life and death. But since day one, this administration has treated vulnerable people as if their lives do not matter. And for people with limited English proficiency, the consequences have been utterly devastating. Let's be clear about what happened to Mr. Amin Shah Alam. Mr. Shah Alam was a Rohingya refugee with lawfully present in the U.S. He faced significant high security. Yet, instead of ensuring that he understood what was happening to him, instead of providing interpretation services, instead of notifying his family or attorney, DHS released him alone into freezing temperatures with nothing besides a pair of county-issued boots or shoes. He was elderly, disabled, and abandoned at a closed coffee shop. And days later, he was dead. No human should ever be treated this way. If a loved one had been notified of his upcoming release and if translation services were provided to him, Mr. Alam would be alive today. But instead of addressing these failures, ICE announced just last week that it would stop reporting deaths that occur after individuals are released from detention. That is unacceptable. Deaths in ICE custody are at record highs, and the administration is scrambling to cover the fact that they are responsible for this horrific failure. And
I guess they are talking about aliens.
The DHS Police Transparency Act is so incredibly important, and why I am proud to co-sponsor.
I don't know what's going on.
Would establish translation and interpretation services and a real compliance framework so that we never have cases like Mr. Shah's again. I spent decades fighting for language access because I've seen what happens when our government fails people who are not fluent in English. And that is why I have introduced legislation to establish and enforce
Bring on the UFOs.
Across the federal government.
We want to see the
No one
UFOs.
should be denied safety, fairness, or due process simply because they primarily speak a different language. But this bill sends a clear message. DHS must be responsible for an individual's well-being and safety when released from custody, full stop. So I want to thank Congressman Kennedy for his leadership and for honoring Mr. Shah Alam's memory by demanding action. We demand transparency, we demand accountability, and we demand that DHS treat every person in its custody with the dignity and humanity they deserve. Thank you.
Next, a great friend of mine, again, champion for the people and a fellow New Yorker, Representative George Lennon.
I want to stand with my colleagues here. Congressman Tim Kennedy has introduced a practical, workable answer to the problem of the death of this individual, as pointed out. This is not just showing outrage, this is laying out a game plan by which future situations like this could be avoided and future lives could be saved. And we thank Congressman Kennedy for that leadership. We should thank Congresswoman McIver for her personal leadership. She has personally gone into Delaney Hall and settings like that with her own personal safety on the line and showing that type of bravery to be able to see and document those conditions. And we owe Congresswoman Chu also credit for the work that she's done over the course of her career. This is about a practical policy that has to change. It is also about something that involves morality. Many of my colleagues across the aisle reference their faith traditions. I happen to be a Christian as well. Many of them talk from the evangelical standpoint about how important it is that we have religious processes to the way we approach things. Let me misquote perhaps, from the Christian Bible, Matthew 25. Lord, when did I see you naked? When did I see you in prison? When did I see you hungry or in need? When you did this for the least of my brothers, you did this for me. And Lord, when did I see you in prison and not minister to you? Hungry and not feed you? Naked and not clothe you? When you did so to the least of my brothers? This isn't just a moving part of Scripture. This is the exact reality. We've lost our humanity in the administration of this government. We've lost our connection to moral principles. When we can see a man die on the street and not care and not change policies and procedures to make things work. This bill will help do that. But underlying all of it is a disrespect for humanity. My colleagues have said it, and I repeat the same argument. And it's seen in policy after policy.
I don't know how he got so close.
How people of faith can support such
I'm proud of
policies
him.
is amazing.
I'm proud of my guy. Everybody, this isn't supposed to start until 12:30, as far as I
So
know.
let us get back to practical reality.
But
Let us adopt this bill, make it.
some of you ask where this feed is coming from. This is my guy out there right now recording this. And he's got a cell phone, he's got his dog.
But America is as good as we say it is.
This isn't media. I mean, this isn't mainstream. This isn't, this isn't any other thing. So I wanted somebody out there to get a good view of this. And not
I have a question.
Okay.
So you guys are talking about Donald Trump being lawless, and one of the things that I've been reading a lot of lately is that Donald Trump has been instructing the DOJ to not even abide by settled law and to challenge it at every point. So how does a bill actually kind of put him back in line to where he just doesn't go along dictatorial lines?
So we're going to take on-topic questions. Start the on-topic questions regarding this legislation.
Do what?
Right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks. I'm happy to have a conversation.
Oh, okay.
He put him on the spot. That was, yeah. See, that's one of the reasons I wanted him out there, to do some of the other stuff that he needs to do. And they're not going to talk bad about certain things, but I just think he may have put up the flag. Dear God.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're saying.
Well, okay, so I cover mostly the homeless issue, but I think what they did with immigration and the homeless are next. And a lot of what I'm reading about Donald Trump is that he's been instructing the DOJ not to follow settled law. So there's laws out there such as when they do a homeless sweep, they're supposed to give notice, offer services and stuff like that. They're misrepresenting the Grants Pass case and using that as a way to do a sweep without offering services or offering anything else like that. But this isn't just happening in the homeless community, it's happening across all of the federal law enforcement agencies.
Sitting is an out-of-control administration led by Donald Trump, but enabled by congressional Republicans that are allowing him to get away with running roughshod over the Constitution and the people's rights across this country. So it trickles down. It starts at the top. It's rotten to the core. It's un-American, and the people of this country deserve better than that. But I appreciate you being out here, and we'll get you some information about this legislation as well.
Yeah, most definitely. But just like with the Constitution and all of its constraints, how is this not able to be constrained from where one man usurps all of government?
Well, that's because we've got congressional Republicans in the majority in the House and the Senate that are allowing him to do what it is that he does with impunity and no checks and balances. And we're going to change that in November when the Democrats win back the House and bring transparency and accountability and end the corruption in this government and stand up for the American people.
All right, thank you, sir. Have a great day.
Thank you.
You too. Okay, I'm telling you guys, how's it going, fellas? Honestly, that meeting an actual senator, I wouldn't think that I'd be all starstruck and shit, but I kind of got the jitters, man. Weird. So, anyways, yeah. All right, so we got the oh, and by the way, the answer to your question, that was immigration bill about what ICE is doing. Yeah, so that the UFO stuff's supposed to start at 1 o'clock. I was kind of hoping that they'd start early, but apparently not.
Actually, they did. We just couldn't see them.
You know what? Yeah, maybe they were beamed up into one of those flying saucers. Okay, all right, guys. So we're gonna set Sam up over here. I need to get her in the shade, get her some water. So some stuff's gonna be happening. But anyways, I was kind of a little weird to get starstruck by a senator, but I just met a senator. I know his last name's Kennedy. That's about all. Hey, hold on. David, no, he's not here yet. Hey, Tuck, you going to stream the entire announcement? Yes, I am. But we just showed up a little bit early. Hey, what's up, Ricky? Just watched the ad for the movie. Okay, so just to kind of give you guys a heads up, this is where they have, when they talk about having it at the Capitol. Here, I'll give you guys kind of a little bit of a better look. So this is where they have all the media events. So there's the Capitol. This is where they have the media event. So every time there is a media event, they all have their press conference over here. Okay, but anyways, guys, I got to get Sam some water and stuff like that. So hold on just a second. And I got to put this down. Hey, I want to keep my dog in the shade while I cover the next event. Is it okay that I leave her here as long as she's tied up? It's just because it's too hot in the direct sun. Yeah. She's well behaved. She's a little social, but that's about it. So, hold on. All right. All right. So I got this. All right, I'm gonna put this down for a second. Sam. Oh wait. All right. You, little girl. Come here. Let's get you some water. Hey, Spaz Dog. No. Sam, you want some water? Hey.
The sound might be fine.
Dude.
I don't want to.
If you cannot chill, we're gonna have a problem. I gotta do some work. If you want to continue to get fed, you're gonna have to let me do work. Okay? Here's some water.
For you guys that don't know, he takes the dog with him a lot. We've been trying to get her acclimated. She's been doing a real good job, and she's become a mascot for him, sort of in a way.
Okay.
But Tuck's a really good guy. We've been trying to. I've been trying to get him.
I picked it up wrong. Okay,
where he's used to doing this kind of stuff.
Let's see. We've been going for about 30 minutes, so we got the next one in about 15 or 20 minutes. I'm gonna leave Sam here. She's gonna be tight. Look, I understand that the squirrels are taunting you. I understand this. You need to not. I can't have you in the direct sun, dog. She's being a brat, and she's been being a brat all freaking morning. It's really starting to get on me. As soon as I took her off the leash this morning, she peeled out. Fucking took off. I think it was after a cat.
No.
So this is an interesting event. So what we just saw, and if you guys saw, I got to interview the senator, okay, and I asked him some simple questions. These were nonpartisan, non-biased questions, questions that anybody within the within the within that's non-biased that really wants to ask these questions. These are the questions in which I asked. And I thought it was pretty good that I got to ask, but you could tell the amount of rhetoric that was behind all of this. The main thing is that he's blaming it on congressional Republicans. The Republicans are letting them get away with it. The Republicans are letting them get away with it. It doesn't matter about the Republicans. There are supposed to be certain guardrails and restrictions within the Constitution, but they've legislated them away so much. Congress has given the executive branch so much power because after the assassination of Lincoln, it gave Congress the power to be able to control who's in the presidency. If you ever notice that most of our presidents have come directly from either the Senate or the House of Representatives, or they've been governors.
That is what I can do.
There's a specific reason. And if they're coming from Congress, or they're coming from governorship,
I hope it does.
then they have a certain understanding that that Congress kind of tells them what to do.
A lot of this stuff's
Donald Trump is the
happening
first
when I'm
person
a
to say,
little unprepared.
I'm gonna do whatever I
have
want.
a lot of
It's
equipment
kind of like
coming.
Sam. You give her an inch. She
I'm
takes a
sorry.
mile.
I apologize.
And so that's kind of what we're seeing here is what happens when you
Normally,
legislate the
I'm
power
not this
from
unprofessional.
two other branches to another
Been trying to get
branch
everything situated.
and give them uncontrolled what do you call it? Uncontrolled power, because you can't put it in check. This is what happens. But anyways, guys, we are waiting for. All right, Sam. No, you kick it down now. Kick it down. I will be right back. Okay.
But there's a lot of interesting stuff
If you don't,
that's
we're
going
gonna have a
on
problem.
in
You
Washington
understand
this month. This one,
Stay.
the 250, a few other things. He was in the general area, and well, I kind of like put him to work. I need someone out there. I can't do it. My son's sick, so I kind of stay home with him. This would have been me.
Okay,
at
so
some
this is the
point,
next
but
group that's popping up.
Anyway, like I said, he's a good guy. He's been trying to build his
Dude, this has
YouTube
kind of got to
channel
be a
and
sucky job. You just stand here with a camera
everything.
all day and
If
just
you
take
notice,
footage.
he talks a lot about homeless
Well,
stuff.
I mean,
but
come on, I'm doing the same thing. So, oops, I forgot to turn it the other way. Oops, forgot to. There we go. All right.
looks like there's a lot of people there.
And black-pilled. I have mostly related to the Republicans, but I'll tell you, the Dems are making more sense about many things. I want to ask you, do you prefer hammock or tent? I prefer hammock. It's better on my recovery time. Great, thank you. Okay. I think we're starting to get people to arrive here. Okay, good. She's laying down. I want her to be in the shade, so she's not, you know. So if you guys have any questions you want me to ask, be sure to ask. And the cool thing is that I think I'm gonna use this. No, that's not Bernie Sanders, is it?
Huh?
No, that's not Bernie Sanders. I guess a lot of old guys look like Bernie Sanders, except for he doesn't have the yarmulke on him or whatever you call it. I've only seen one person with a phone here, though. Well, no, there's two people here now with a phone. All right. So, I have a question. Did I get close enough so you guys could hear? Because I have no mic. In a world ran by men in suits and t-shirts can get answers smiling.
Sir, how you doing? Come on, grab your dog real quick.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I'm trying to keep her out of the direct sun. Come here, Sam. I got her. She's good. I'm sorry. Yeah, he was just asking me to. Come on.
Thanks.
Yeah, no worries, man. Sit. Good dog. Good Sam. Good Sam. All right, you be a good girl, okay? Thank you for being nice to my dog. Cops seem to be nice around here, so we can hear you just fine. No, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the speaker. Over 100 on my side. Oh, cool. That's good. So Paranoid, were you able to hear the speaker though? That's the real question, because this was kind of like a test run. Sam's doing well. As long as nobody goes up and grabs at her, she'll be fine. So, no. Okay. So basically they were talking about, not at all. Okay. Crap. I don't know how to, like, I gotta get a mic. I don't have a mic anymore. Okay, so you guys didn't hear anything that they said. Well, I'm sure you guys heard the guy speaking to me. Cause you know, we had a close conversation. What really got me weirded out is that the guy likes to be really close. Did you notice how close he was standing to those people? It was almost like he was looking over their shoulder, making sure that they said the right thing and didn't make them look bad or something. Like it was almost like he was trying to control the issue. I don't know. I'm trying to like the audio and stuff like that when they were speaking. We heard everything. Oh, okay, including the audio from the speakers. Okay, good. That's okay, good. All right. That's good to know. So I don't know who any of these people are. You guys might have to introduce me and tell me who they are so I know who to ask questions to. Because I know nothing about this. I feel like Sergeant Schultz. I know nothing. Okay, good. All right, so I wasn't, because that was my biggest thing. But if you guys wanted to look at the Capitol. Okay, perfect. All right. All right. How's it going, man? Fucking, it seems like it's cool, but it ain't cooling down. Fuck, I mean, we got overcast, but it's still warm as fuck here.
It looks like there's quite a few people
All right.
there. I mean, I don't know.
All right, so we've got, I don't have the time, so if somebody has the time, because we started. Hold on.
Like if they say you can go in. Okay, so then
Everybody be behind all over.
right. Whereas here you'll be able to see it.
Here we have it. Okay, let's. Good coverage, ready for UFO, ET1. Yes, I understand that, but I'm looking for the right people. That's all.
Yeah, somebody said there.
All right, Sam seems to be holding her own. So, as long as she stays, she knows to stay by the bag. How's it going?
Assuring that he understood.
Oh yeah, we already talked. So sometimes my memory, I don't always. You. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were the podcaster.
No,
Oh, okay.
that's the other guy.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the other handsome guy.
Oh, okay. I'm Friar Tuck. Who are you?
Josh, I know.
Josh?
Some guy, yeah, I host
Oh.
Public Disclosure. on-
Oh, I started watching you guys way long time ago before you guys got all like big media type stuff, like when you guys used to go to the UFO conventions.
Yeah, we still do.
Oh,
We
okay.
still do, just not as much signage. You know, we're still there though.
Okay. I noticed you guys started covering some of the Billy Meyer material. It was a few years ago, but I started noticing that you guys actually gave Michael Horn a platform.
You know, I don't remember that, but I have a Billy Myers book in my office, and I love to peruse through his photos.
You know, my favorite book, because I've bought both the Goblet of Truth and the Talmud of Manuel.
Yeah.
And I've read the Goblet of Truth takes forever to get through, because like once you start reading it, your brain just starts going. Yeah. But it's well, it's basically, he calls it the Book of the Prophets. And yeah, I've barely made it through like the first 3 or 4 chapters, because it's just like when you start reading it, it just gives you so much to ponder.
Sure.
But yeah, I think honestly, I think that's his hidden gem that most people like. If you really want to follow him, you don't follow him for the UFO stuff. That's, you know, my great uncle, he was in the remote viewing project, and so yeah, when I was 15, he showed me a picture of a UFO. Said, hey, yeah, they're real. I'm like,
Big deal. It's
yeah,
all real.
yeah. It was a cloaked UFO over Crater Lake in Oregon. Yeah, and so I'm like, for, you know, the whole reason why I even came across Billy Meyer wasn't really for the UFOs. It was for the other stuff in which he was saying. I still find it to be one of the most fascinating stories I've ever read.
Phillies or just UAPs in general?
Well, Billy's, no, because like UAPs and all that stuff doesn't, like I said, after knowing they're real, it's like, okay, tell me something I don't know. It's just the fact that he provided all the evidence and all that other stuff, and just all of the back and forth between the detractors and him and all that other stuff. But yeah, so, oh, okay, that's cool.
That guy, he's important to get on camera.
Oh, okay.
What's up, Lord?
Yeah, this is actually being streamed live.
I know my buddies told me, they're like, why aren't you streaming, Josh? Some other guy back behind you is. They're watching you right now.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I'm doing this in collaboration with another group called Paranoid Times. So he's streaming my live stream. That's probably where he's seeing it. Yeah. It's
It's a mirror that keeps going back. It's fine.
yeah. Would you mind introducing me to him?
Who?
I
don't know.
Oh, okay. I thought you knew him.
Go for it, buddy. You go for it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll wait until he looks like it. But nice meeting you, man. How's it going? Yeah, she's passed out. Like, okay, tells you guys how smart I am, huh? UFCs and UFOs, huh? It's supposed to be starting soon. Yeah, so you guys saw, I just talked to the dude from Gaia. Yeah, so apparently, they have either Paranoid, they're watching your live stream, or they're watching my live stream, and apparently there's some people, so we're getting some notoriety. So, but yeah, anyways, so yeah, this is in collaboration with Paranoid Times. So if you want something that's got a little bit more informed than me, you probably want to go over there. Otherwise, stick over here and enjoy. Okay, it's supposed to, we got like 20 minutes for it to start. I hope I got enough battery. I hope my phone doesn't overheat. It's like 90 degrees out here. Even though it's overcast, it's 90 degrees. I'm sure I'm getting a sunburn on the top of my head today. I guess I should have let it grow out a little bit. Okay, so you guys want to... A Sam cam? I don't know. No, you don't want a Sam cam, because you'll end up in the bushes going, where the hell where are we? And then when she gets in a bush and it rips off her cam, then we're just going to be having to like figure out which bush did she get lost in. Oh.
It actually would be
How much learning did you have to do to learn how to operate a camera like that? Wow. Hey, anytime, guys. So, but for those of you that are not aware, tonight at 6, we're doing an interview with Carrie Elrod, who is the policy analyst for the National Coalition for the Homeless. And we're going to be talking to her about policy tonight, especially with the new laws and new rule changes and the stuff that's going on. And we're going to start figuring out ways in which you can start fighting back because, quite frankly, that's the hardest thing to do. But while we're doing this, let's just focus on UFOs. There's a lot of people here. So this isn't going to make national news, is it?
I don't know. It's a good question. I like the turnout though. It was bigger than the last two events. They all deserve equal attention, but it's nice to see so many people turn out.
You know, the big question we've been asking when I do my podcast with Paranoid Times is why are they releasing it now? I mean, they've been suppressing it for so long. Why now? What's the purpose behind it?
I think there's been a lot of pressure from the public and internally from Congress ever since 2017. It seems like accumulation of that pressure to get to where we are today. It seems like it's sudden, like there's some big event coming that they have to release it. I don't think that's what's going on. I think just a lot of good people like these guys right here pushing behind the scenes, like Admiral Gallaudet right there. Have been pushing for UAP transparency, and I think it's their work that's led to this moment, not that there's something crazy about it happening.
Well, it just seems like, well, I don't know. Lou Elizondo kind of raised a red flag for me, you know, because he was pretty much the first one to come out and like make it a big deal about it. And so it brings people, especially those that are paranoid about anything the government gets involved in, you know, in his background, people are wondering like, is this, like my personal opinion, I think that in order to explain the technology that we have now, because it's about to be unveiled for what we're going into globally, I think that this is the way they explain it. It's like, yeah, well, we finally did it. Because, you know, otherwise people are going to be asking, where are these weapons? And we're going to be thinking we're getting invaded from outside, unless we explain, oh, well, we've been doing this for all these years. And so this is their way of letting it out without losing face.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I could see that. I could see that being it.
Well, because I mean, it opens up so much for the military-industrial complex.
I think, you know, back to your point about
Yeah.
Lou Elizondo, I think is interesting is that I get why people are a little in agencies that have been holding it back. Suddenly had a guy come forward who's like, no, don't worry about that. I figured it out. I'm within the agency. I have a separate program that's studying UFOs that figured out there's another program studying UFOs, but trust me.
Yeah.
I get why people are nervous. I totally understand that, but it's undeniable that he, in 2017, unlocked this modern disclosure movement. So credit has to be given, whether we're going to get a government threat-based disclosure or a folk benevolent fee disclosure. That's going to be up to what happens next.
Yeah, well,
I appreciate him, but I get it. Like, I don't know either. You know what I mean? Like, I want to assume it's all good, but I don't know. And I think it's okay to question.
Yeah, well, yeah, you got to, if we don't question it, then we can't be real Americans, because that's part of what made us America. You know, question everything.
Yeah,
You know.
I'll support him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a good thing, but I don't know. It's just it just raises a lot of red flags for me. But you know, I don't know. I wish that they would start actually showing us the weapons that they developed from it. Then I think at that point in time, I'd feel like there was actual full disclosure, because the second you start recovering craft, first thing the military is going to do is reverse engineer it and turn it into a weapon. So, you know, okay, you're showing us, okay, there's UFOs out there, but what have you done with them?
I want to see what the energy systems are that could revolutionize the energy systems in the world. I want to see if they are withholding medical devices and medical technology outside of the weapons. But I agree with you. That's the first thing they're going to do. The military's first thing they're going to do.
Yeah, we've been talking about, oh, yeah, have a good one, man. I want to see an alien. Okay. All right, guys. All right. Wow.
I don't know yet. I don't. I know it looks like they're getting ready to set up to do it, and I don't know how this is going to go, but I know there's a lot of people.
This is the marketing part.
Everyone's rolling in now, so you know, you had that little thing to begin with, and now you got all these media groups and stuff starting to roll in. This is definitely going to be interesting. No, there's a couple. There's one called Vetted, and there's Simon Bob over on X is doing one, but his camera work is a little worse than Tuck's. It's really hard for us to bring in all this equipment and stuff. A lot of this is probably going to be shown like later on, you know, like News Nation and things like that. But yeah, it is what it is. You know, as long as we got somebody there, as long as we got somebody recording, you know, because I definitely wanted to look at the crowd and see what was going on. You know, what they were, if they were going to like the kind of people, if they were openly hiding or anything like that. So.
So I guess the next lesson we learn, guys, is how to position ourselves.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. Everything to sell a book, right? No, it's not being streamed yet. They're the same video. I mean, yeah, I mean, not the same video. I mean, they're out there. We're all waiting for David Grusch to come out. I mean, I got multiple windows up over here, trying to figure out, make sure we's in the right place and everything else, trying to figure out what was going on. You know, is what it is.
We have like a nice Capitol building too.
Yeah. Even here. They just don't know all the facts. Sure, yeah. I don't have a card, but.
Do you guys know if they're supposed to do something on the inside today? Is there like some kind of like another release of information or something?
Here, guys, let's see.
I'm happy to do any information.
There we go. U.S. House of Representatives. Okay. Task Force Declassification of Federal Secrets.
Oh, that's an interesting little thing.
Yeah.
Wow, that is the tiniest camera I ever saw.
So wait, they didn't. They have to use this.
Wow, look how much more the media is involved in this compared to the whole ICE thing. That tells you where the real interest is.
Yeah, the stigma's lifted. You can talk about it. No, I'm in Colorado. We flew in.
Yeah, you can see the Gaia mic right there.
Spread this message where I can. Very great. Good job.
Here, let me show you.
Why am I getting so many ads?
Yeah, there's like 3 times more mics there for this event than there was in the last one. Sorry, I got here a little early, guys. But hey, at least you guys get to sit here and hang out and watch a media event.
Early's fine. Let's everybody get here. There's a lot of people that don't even know this is going on. You know, there was no official release about today. None. Not any main sources, not anything like that. People just started talking about it and went with the narrative, which I find extremely strange. If you go on Google or Copilot and you ask that about it, it will tell you that this is probably some kind of fake conference, which is some of the most bizarre stuff that I have heard of. I mean,
this is going to be a big event.
Yeah, I know, Tuck. I told you it would be. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about Disclosure movie. I'm going to have to see on that one. I'm not letting my official view of the movie come out just yet, but I am pretty sure I will see it before most people do. I'm ready for something. I don't know
So
what
this
though.
is what the seat of government looks like every day. Press conferences, bills being passed, federal authority expanding, lies being told. And we call this America, the land of the free, the home of the brave. How many reptilians are in the crowd giggling right now? I don't know, guys. Can you see any? Yeah, I actually just watched Mars Attacks. Aliens are illegal. Yeah. Okay. Project Bluebeam might follow the marking. Okay. These guys are professionals. As professionals, well, I guess I.
I didn't last long.
We're now on the top 3 streams for this, guys.
I might stand there. I should have live streamed too. That was good. That was smart.
Yeah, well,
I'm here with my company, so I was like, yeah, do I do their channel? I do mine. What am I gonna do?
They what?
yeah, well, I almost didn't do a live stream because I was advised not to. And I was like, you know what, we should do it. And then because we're gonna do a pass through to me, so it was by luck I actually did it. Looks like it was a good stroke. So
Dog doing? She good? You got the-
yeah, she's over there. Yeah, I gave her some water. Yeah, just when the drug dogs come over, I gotta go over there and like hold her down, so because they both want to play with each other. Yeah, she's got almost 2,000 trail miles on her because we hike up and down the east coast, Midwest, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So she's got about 2,000 trail miles on her.
Shape.
Oh, dude, when we did from Harper's Ferry through Shenandoah up into Bear's Den,
Yeah.
I went from being able to push her with one hand to where I now have to push her with 2 hands.
Really?
Because, well, yeah, you're going through the roller coaster. It's just constant, straight up.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you're walking uphill about 6 hours a day, walking downhill about 2. So you jump up to 6,500 feet to walk, and then you drop down to about 4,800 feet to sleep.
Ah.
Yeah, because you can't be above a certain line, you know, for it's the AT, their laws, not mine. You know, I'll sleep anywhere. You know, I do
I
hammocks. So
struggle in altitude. I'll tell you that.
yeah.
I'm from Colorado. I go up higher than I sleep at a mile up. If I go any higher, it's so weird.
Really? I was born in Colorado Springs. I guess I was naturally, it's like, I don't have that issue.
Oh, so yeah, you were born there.
Yeah.
Me, I'm an East Coast guy. I grew up in Rhode Island.
Rhode Island? Yeah, Colorado's got to be a big change for you.
Oh yeah, it took me a good year to get used to it. Honestly, I feel awesome. I came back here just for this event, and I slept better. I feel good. Like my energy.
You're used to the density. You know, I know like for the first, because I grew up in Oregon. For like maybe the first 10 years I was east and in the south, it was like, man, this lifestyle's too fast. Everybody's an asshole. And then I went back west and I'm like, dude, I want to go back east. You know, because it's like it's night and day, and you get so used to the fast lifestyle that you forget about the slow lifestyle.
Right.
You know, and the first,
those people too.
yeah.
I'm from. They don't smile as much, but they're good people.
Yeah, they mean well and they ain't pulling any bullshit.
Exactly.
You know, the West Coast, everybody's, you know, polite to your face. You know.
No, totally.
Yeah, that's why I left in 2017. I'm like, dude, they just Californianized everything. You live outside of Denver?
Yeah, in Boulder.
Okay, so I was through there probably about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. It looked like Skid Row has moved into Denver. Is it still that bad?
Sorry, but anyway.
How's it going, man?
Good, mate. How are you?
Doing well.
It looks good. Okay.
Yeah, she may need her tires rotated. That's funny. So somebody heard me talk about Sam having 2,000 trail miles, so they offered to rotate her tires.
That's funny.
Oh wow. Okay.
All right, this is
wish I
Shape
could take
up here.
pictures.
Yeah, can we have that second row scoot to the left a little bit? Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm gonna turn it up a little bit.
Thank you, Mr. Fox.
Ah,
That was better? Yeah, it's, okay, I think we, okay, so done. Oh, wait, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna move you guys down slightly too, just slightly kick it that to your.
okay. So I keep looking back for the dog. That's why you see this. Okay, so I think it's about ready to start. All right, guys, here's the main event that you guys came for.
Hey, do me a favor, sir. Can you just step back with the rest of everyone? Thank you.
Yeah, I don't have a mic. I'm just trying to make sure I get his best audio. Man, all that on. You guys got to be extra hot. Yeah, well, you guys at least got AC, right? Or do they keep you outside all day?
We're outside most of the time.
Oh, really? What, they're trying to sweat a few pounds off y'all or what?
I guess.
James Fox.
I think that was
Been
security
investigating
that
UFO
messing with me a little
cases,
bit.
now referred to as UAP,
We get
across the
that
globe for
sometimes.
over 30 years. And I've directed 7 feature-length documentaries on the subject. In recent years, Congress has held multiple public hearings on UAP, which is a dramatic shift towards transparency. Thanks to many members of Congress, the issue is now being taken very seriously. We, the people, are finally hearing accounts in a credible setting from firsthand U.S. military personnel about highly advanced unknown craft that fly rings around our frontline fighter jets. With President Trump's unprecedented directive to release UAP files, we are seeing more and more of these type of craft captured on various government sensors, and I'm told this is just the beginning. One of the aspects to the phenomenon that's spoken about with less frequency are close encounters of the third kind. Reporting by witnesses of entities of non-human sentient beings connected to the craft. Don't take it from me. Some of these reports come directly out of the United States Air Force's own files. In fact, the very scientists who coined the phrase close encounters of the third kind investigated cases for the United States Air Force from 1947 to 1969. Dr. J. Allen Hynek. According to Hynek, it was cases like those that the United States Air Force desperately tried to keep secret. Because it's one thing to try and confuse the public with weather balloons and swamp gas, and another entirely different when dealing with credible reports of non-human beings on the ground. I personally investigated one such case for over 16 years. The case occurred in Varginha, Brazil, 1996. It involves dozens of first-hand reports of UAP and direct contact with living, intelligent, non-human beings who, according to multiple Brazilian witnesses, were flown out of Brazil to the United States in January of 1996. Recently, the former Brazilian Ministry of Defense, Aldo Rebelo, confirmed the incident occurred and stated, if the U.S. disclosed information on this case, then we in Brazil could do the same. Mr. President, I am respectfully requesting that you declassify and release all files related to this case and others like it. We, the people, have a right to know. Reality should not be classified. Thank you.
Yes.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here today, and I just want to say, especially for the members that have behind us, as you know, this Congress is given permission to set up a task force on classified federal secrets. Many of our colleagues did not believe this up until really the videos were coming out, and had it not been for the efforts of our girls and Lucy's Woods and site, you probably would see some of these files today. It doesn't just stop here. For some time, we've been pushing for legislation, whether it be whistleblower protections or the Youth Disclosure Act, and it's been time and time again stonewalled by various intelligence agencies and staff within the House of Representatives, which is why we're grateful for the administration and their effort, as well as the Speaker's office, in pursuing the truth, something that we all should deserve transparency on.
And so our next call to action will be that we are meeting with the White House. We are requesting that whistleblowers receive temporary immunity or permanent immunity, and if they are able to divulge whether it is location of craft and or advanced technologies. As you know, this is something that we are all wanting to know the truth on. And again, without your cooperation, we wouldn't have been where we are at today. So thank you. I'd like to now introduce Representative Eric Ferguson.
Thank you.
Thank you all for being here today. I want to first begin by thanking everyone that's here, and I want to thank my colleagues behind this task force. We could not do this without the incredible leadership of Representative Luna and my colleagues on the team. We also wouldn't be here today if it weren't for the brave men and women who have come forward as whistleblowers, who have plowed that soil. We wouldn't be here without these individuals. And we also wouldn't be here celebrating the victories that we have were it not for President Trump. We finally have a leader that the American people can trust to challenge institutions that have grown far too comfortable operating without accountability. For decades, the American people have been treated like children, told that our government secrets that they don't get to know. Don't ask, don't expect answers, just trust the process. Well, the American people are done with that answer. And I'm done with that answer. Over the last 3 years, we have made more progress on this issue than at any point in modern history. We've held hearings. We've reviewed Russian and Brazilian records, including a formal FBI inquiry into the '96 Argentina incident, where witnesses alleged that the Brazilian military captured non-human entities in craft and buried the truth. Today, Aldo Rebello, who was the Ministry of Defense at the time, came forward and admitted that this event was true. We've sent targeted inquiries into MIT Lincoln Laboratories, MITRE, and every government agency that's been connected to UAP. We've worked with lawmakers across 4 continents. We sought answers on cases like Matthew Sullivan, a would-be whistleblower whose tragic death deserves far more scrutiny than it has received. We've obtained video evidence, including the MQ-9 footage of a UAP incident off the coast of Yemen, delivered to my office through what can only be described as a Tom Clancy-style death drop. Someone felt that they had nothing, but someone felt they had to secretly hand information to an elected official, member of Congress. Why would anyone fear bringing information to Congress? They shouldn't. We are no longer asking hypothetical questions anymore. Congress is requesting specific records and videos. These agencies and contractors know that we know that they exist, and we're going to get them released. We continue to receive credible claims of recovered crafts and reverse engineering programs that may have operated for decades outside of any oversight. Those claims point to specific facilities, contractors, records, and people. Congress has a constitutional duty to follow them. And that duty does not vanish because someone stamped a document classified 30 years ago. It does not vanish because some bureaucrat says so. It does not vanish because a program has become so compartmentalized that even elected officials are expected to look the other way. The Constitution gave Congress oversight, authority for a reason. No elected bureaucrat has that authority. This information is not yours to keep. It belongs to the American people. They own it and they deserve the truth. The most important people in this story are the whistleblowers. David Grusch, Admiral Gallaudet, Dylan Borland, Jeff Musatelli, and the many others who haven't been named yet. Their careers were upended. Their families were torn apart. They endured an avalanche of stress, all because they believed this information belongs to you, the American people, and they attempted to and tried to get it to you. Some will say they should have used more proper channels. To hell with the safe way. The safe way protects the system. These are people who simply wanted the American people to see what they know, and they deserve protection. They deserve our respect, and they deserve a second chance. And we are at a different time. This is the age of disclosure. Mr. President, I'm asking you directly, waive the non-disclosure agreements that still bind these patriots. Grant immunity to anyone and everyone who has already come forward and everyone who will come forward. Open the door and let them speak. Because unless people know they will be protected, why would they come forward and step forward otherwise? It is time that we flip the script entirely as well. It has been said by people in positions that know that even presidents have been kept on a need-to-know basis. The Navy pilots, admirals, and generals describe programs, senior officials, the commander-in-chiefs were never briefed on. Career bureaucrats who view presidents as temporary help. Here today, gone tomorrow. That is not classification. That's a constitutional crisis. Transparency must be the default in the United States of America, and it should be required for those with knowledge to come forward, not wait for us to ask. There must be real penalties for officials who knowingly withhold information from Congress. Playing dumb is no longer acceptable. Hiding behind classification is no longer acceptable. Mr. President, you know that the agencies lie. You know that firsthand. They have lied to you. They have lied about you. They do not cooperate easily. They never have. This is the moment. Use the authority that you have, Mr. President. The American people are behind you. And everyone listening today in government, working for a contractor, retired, anywhere in the world, come to Congress. Come to these group of people. We will work with you. This is a worldwide call for action. What you know and help us please release every record, every file, and every piece of information. The time is now. Thank you. And with that, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, I told him to get good views of the crowd.
It's good to be with you all, and it's great to be with my colleagues, people that want transparency in America. And just like my good friend, Mr. Burleson, Representative Burleson said, this isn't the government's information. Unless there's some kind of national security element that's going to imperil our safety, this is our information. We should have it, every single bit of it, and you shouldn't be crazy, and you shouldn't have your reputation destroyed because you want to disclose. This is our government. This is our country. This is our information, and damn it, we demand it. God bless you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank y'all. My name's Congressman Tim Burchett. I know y'all got up this morning and said, "Dadgum, I hope I get to stand out in the heat." Listen,
Hey.
keep it short. I proudly, but it's a pleasure being here with you. I want to first salute the bravery of these folks standing back here on the back row. They're good. This country was not created by a bunch of meek pansies and people that took a stand, and these folks. Thank you. So I really appreciate that. I appreciate my colleagues in Congress. I even had to say it. I appreciate my friends in the media today. So there you go. Across the divide. You know, I talked to the president about this issue, and he kept his word to me. He kept his word. And I think that's important. But I think we also need to remember too, when I'm sitting in a skiff and some little punk in a man bun tells me the president's on a need-to-know basis, folks, that ought to tell you right there what we're up against. We're up against corruption. We're up against a cover-up. This thing's been covered up at least since 1947. Dadgummit, the public deserves the right to know. It's your dadgum tax dollars. It's not about little green men or flying saucers. It's about what are we spending all these millions and possibly billions of dollars on that these idiots tell us don't exist. And then yet we turn right around in the skip and then they tell us they do exist. This is a cover up. You all know it. We know it. We demand the answers, and dadgummit, we're going to get them. Look, we got one or two bites at this apple. Please be careful about the false information that's coming out of Washington on all this stuff. Trust your gut. You know what's right. You know they exist. You know this has been a cover up since before most of y'all been born. Thank y'all so much. Let's keep fighting for the truth. Thank you, Donald Trump, for keeping your word to me. And you all deserve to be in that skip with us. We shouldn't be the gatekeepers, and none else of these jugheads up here should eat. Let's get at it.
All right.
And I don't care if he's across the aisle or not. He's one of the smartest guys I know in Congress. He's one of my best friends. His name is Jared Moskowitz.
I don't use my primary one.
Jesus. Anyways, it's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to be here with my colleagues. And let me thank the men and women behind them, not just for their courage, but for their service to the country. And that's what's changed. I mean, look, this conversation started years ago with people like the late Harry Reid, and then Marco Rubio and Chuck Schumer, and now my colleagues and many others in the House. But one of the things that changed is the quality and the caliber of people who are coming forward, who have served our military, decorated people with the experience, airline pilots, and the technology in our hands, and the technology that our military has. That's what's changed. What's also changed is we started asking questions, very simple questions. And this is what got me interested in the topic. We would ask questions, and they would then push back. And we would ask more questions, and the pushback became more significant. We would try to put language in an amendment, in a bill, and they would oppose it. They would secretly go to the chairman of committee to strip that language out. And that became clear to us that they were hiding something. And so listen, I don't know what the full truth is, but I know we're being lied to. And the American people know that also. And so look, the time for disclosure is now. Disclosure today, disclosure tomorrow. The American people have a right to know. We know about these advanced technology programs. We know they come out of Area 51. They did when we went to kill Osama bin Laden with an advanced technology helicopter that Congress never funded. There's trillions of dollars missing at the Pentagon. Where does that money go? And so it's time for the government to come forward. And what we need is we need your help. All of you here. I get asked this question by people in my community more than anything else. What does the government know and why aren't they telling us? The American people can handle it. They can handle it. I trust them. And it's time that we tell them the truth. Thank you.
Yeah.
Go.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Leslie Kane. I'm one of the reporters who wrote the 2017 New York Times story that fundamentally changed the conversation about UAP. In the years that followed, members of Congress met with Navy pilots and received classified briefings. Some came to realize that the observed objects were highly unlikely to be American, Russian, or Chinese technology, but nobody would publicly confirm what they were. Then in 2023, the conversation changed again. Former intelligence official and whistleblower David Grusch met with members of Congress, providing them with detailed information about covert government programs that he said possessed craft of non-human origin. This has been hidden from congressional oversight for decades. I was privileged to have interviewed Mr. Grusch extensively before publishing his story with my colleague Ralph Blumenthal 3 years ago. 6 weeks after the story broke, Mr. Grusch testified under penalty of perjury in an open congressional hearing. While under oath, he spoke about an ultra-secret crash retrieval program and stated that some craft contained specimens or pilots, which he called non-human biologics. The potential existence of another living, intelligent, advanced species has more implications for humanity than the recovery of technological hardware. Now, the conversation needs to shift again, with more of a focus on biology and less on technology.
Yes.
Having served for decades on the staff of congressional intelligence and defense committees, Kirk McConnell, who is standing here today in the back, he was present in classified settings when highly credible sources briefed senators, including Marco Rubio, about recovered non-human bodies. Unlike legitimate national security concerns that require us to keep advanced technologies of non-human origin secret, that justification should not apply to biological evidence. Knowledge of the existence of another life form, studied and documented by qualified experts, should not be considered a threat to national security. By what authority can any institution withhold confirmation of what may be the most consequential scientific discovery in human history. Knowledge that we are not alone does not belong to any government or military. It belongs to all of humanity. Today, I call upon the President to prioritize the declassification and public release of any evidence concerning recovered, advanced, non-human biological entities. Thank you, and I turn this over now to David Grusch.
Here's David Grusch.
Good afternoon. I'm here today because my leadership on the disclosure issue is part of my continued service to the nation. I took an oath as an Air Force officer swearing allegiance to the principles and the framework of the U.S. Constitution. I took that oath seriously then, and I take that oath seriously now. And if this is one of my final duties of public service, I want it to be this: helping Congress and the President restore lawful accountability over activities and spending that should never have been placed beyond constitutional oversights, and to be transparent with the American people. There are a myriad of issues across multiple cultural, religious, and institutional spectrums. The topics here are numerous. There are serious homeland security and airspace safety issues. There are relevant counterintelligence and technology protection issues that must be taken into consideration. For decades, unknown objects have freely operated in restricted airspace in large metropolitan areas and critical infrastructure, and the agencies responsible for securing the homeland cannot adequately defend against it. This is a serious national security issue. In my official duties, I was exposed to human and signals intelligence information concerning foreign adversary, UAP crash retrieval, exploitation and study efforts, adversary views on U.S. legacy program reverse engineering efforts, and U.S.-held audiovisual information related to crash retrieval matters, such as the recovered vehicles and the associated biological materials. One must always be concerned about adversarial disinformation when you're getting foreign intelligence, but I was able to cross-verify this information internally to back up the foreign government assertions. Many of the president's team has been kept in the dark by high-ego, politically appointed actors, both because of incompetence and malicious intent has subverted the president's order on this issue. Furthermore, some of this foreign intelligence has not been provided to Congress despite lawful requests to the Defense Intelligence Agency last summer, and also having formally been published across the IC and analyzed by such analytical centers such as NASIC. These records belong under congressional oversight, and I believe DIA should stop obstructing Chairman Bruno's task force and provide those documents to Congress and enter it through mandatory declassification review so the American public can see some of the foreign intelligence I had access to. Secrecy around this issue did not appear overnight. Subsequent executive orders, Secretary of Defense memorandums, Department of Security basically nullified Congress's role with the traditional branch with oversight of this issue. Remember, classification exists to protect the nation. Executive Order 13526 discusses what can and cannot be classified. Embarrassment, hiding funds, criminal activity, and the basic information about scientific information in the universe is unlawful for it to be classified. And this is why whistleblower protections matter. Through my federal litigation ongoing with the Department of War, I learned that the Air Force worked with an external agency to seek an investigation of me for alleged unauthorized disclosures punishable under the Espionage Act after I testified in front of Congress in 2023, discussing the results of my congressionally directed investigation in support of the first Trump administration. This should concern every member of Congress, regardless of party. To this day, I'm still fighting years of record withholding, administrative obstruction, and a prolonged effort to get a medical military retirement that I still am not in a retired status. This is also a real fraud, waste, and abuse issue. President Vance's task force is sharply focused on the issue of misuse of funds. The same accountability problem applies here. And during my investigation, I found slush funds to the tune of billions of dollars per annum for these activities. We cannot have one standard for the American people and another standard for deep state that hide behind the veil of secrecy. Right. President Trump has the authority to create an enduring legacy government transparency, accountability consistent with national security protections. Disclosure should not depend on leaks, should not depend on the public taking my word for it or anyone else's. American people deserve more than vague denials and selective releases of prior administrations, to include through troubled organizations such as ARROW. I applaud the president's efforts and his promise to show true American leadership on this issue of massive worldwide interest. Over 1 billion views on the Foul Drop website. So the time has come to stop asking the public to trust secret conclusions. Instead, provide an honest accounting of what it knows, what it's done, and what has been withheld. God bless America. Yeah.
I think we have about 4 minutes before they call votes to open it up for a quick round of questions. So if you guys can just, let's start with Real America's Voice.
Great. I have a question for David Grusch. Can you confirm for us how many species? Recent reports have said that there are perhaps 4 different alien species, rays, Nordics. How many species are you aware of?
I certainly don't have the compendium. It's a continuum from corporeal bipedal type life to, you know, what I would consider like sentient plasmoid life. But there are 7 that the U.S. government is using.
Quick question for Mr. Grusch. During the course of your investigation, it's been surfaced to the public that there's been a program by the name of Immaculate Constellation. During the course of your investigation, did you recognize that the infrastructure to support such a program for exfiltration of data from federal systems would exist?
Yeah, I can't comment on the content of that program. I've discussed on my interview in Judicial Watch that was a National Security Council program, and the secrecy started in 1954 through an Eisenhower executive order that created that infrastructure.
Thank you very much.
Started in 1919.
The endless slide. When you look at where we are right now in this moment for the disclosure movement, what's at stake here?
I think the sovereign contract between the citizenry and its government. I think the institutional rot that the lack of transparency on this issue is possibly going to cause an untenable socioeconomic condition if the government is not transparent, akin to certain other. I don't want to say the Epstein files. That's a dirty word, but we could have that kind of scandal if we're not transparent on this issue.
And do you have any advice for people who are new to the UFO topic, the UAP topic, who just really don't know where to begin? There's just so much misinformation out there. What is your advice to them?
I would go watch James Fox's documentaries.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So, and I also, there is a declassified 1971 Australian, formerly classified secret assessment that a couple years ago, we put it in the Australian National Archives. I encourage people to read page 7 through 16, and that was the nuclear branch chief of the Australian government discussing the U.S. cover-up and the involvement of the CIA back in the 70s. And that's actually a little-known document that is publicly available.
Question with the whistleblower, Matthew Sullivan. Is there anything that you know, or is there anything that ties into what is happening today and with his testimony that never happened because he was died 2 weeks, I guess, before?
That's an ongoing.
It's an ongoing.
So it's still.
That's they're leading up, but a lot of the stuff that started happening in the ESG is just fear that someone correlates to the.
What was he coming in to testify for?
That would be a question for Matt Burleson.
David.
Oh,
yeah.
Mr. Sullivan was on a legacy program. I served on active duty with him here, but I don't want to discuss details of his knowledge of federal investigation.
Mr. Grusch.
So just for those that are maybe not so familiar, can you explain right now what the roadblocks are? What is preventing lawmakers, and if lawmakers want to take a stab at this, from visiting locations that have been critical to reverse engineering or other things, that the knowledge is there, but the ability to go and see them is not?
If Congress says we're going to go to Area 51, if Congress says we're going to go to Area 51, everybody says, go to Area 51, Burchett. All I'm going to get there is a good dadgum t-shirt, all right? The moving bacon's already going to be there. The problem you have is that these things have been moved into private entities, so they don't have a FOIA. Wait a minute, I could FOIA Ford Motor Company, but doesn't mean they're going to do anything. That's why they moved it out of the federal governments, and that's part of the roadblocks. Other roadblocks we've seen We tried to get a committee. We've had staff members try to block us when we first started this thing with that first hearing that Grusch said that there's biological entities. They tried to move it into remember that Russian balloon that flew over? They tried to move it into that. And what was it? Chinese, excuse me, they're all together. No, I know they're not, but they tried to move it into that. We had staff members try to block us. Just the top level. We've been in a skiff before, and we had a member of Congress come in and just try to disrupt the meeting, try to disrupt Grusch, throw him all these trick questions, and he answered every dadgum one of them just right off the bat. He knocked it out of the park. So.
If there's before we have to go, this is the last question. We do have a meeting set for the White House. The White House is going to play ball on this. So as Rep. Peterson and Burchett has stated, they are following through on everything that we're setting up. So the next course of action and something that they are willing to entertain is if you are an intelligence official or have knowledge of locations of materials, and in doing our due diligence and following the task force, they are considering, and I do believe that they are going to be providing immunity permanently, so that people can't be hit with the violation of the Espionage Act. So again, there's a lot of people that have a lot of information, but it's really can we prove it, and what information can we then bring forward to the American people? So
Do you have an update on the missing scientists?
Wait a minute, let the guy with he's had his hand up the whole time, man.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a question for Mr. Grusch. Hey, Mr. Grusch, Scott Murtha from Mysterious Planet. I have a question. Do you have a sense of how many cases the government might be aware of that involve non-UFO?
Quite a few, several dozen. So that's an ongoing list. So to give you an exact number, because I don't even I need have full access to that.
Do you have a general rough estimate between
several dozen?
Gotcha. All right, thank you, sir.
Bottom line, we gotta go vote. Bottom line, we wouldn't be here if it weren't for the bravery of these individuals who came forward, Mr. Grusch, all of the whistleblowers. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for the political courage of my colleagues who took this issue from being a fringe issue to being something that everyone is talking about. It's no longer a fringe issue. And we wouldn't be here if it weren't for this president who has taken a decades-long request and finally brought us into the age of disclosure. And so, and I want to say thank you to the press as well, to James and to Leslie, and to everyone who has helped cover this topic. We're here to fight for the American people, fight for the truth. And again, our last call to action is we want to challenge every foreign country to do what the United States is doing. See what we're doing here, and we want to see your country follow suit. And we want to see if any individuals have any information, not be afraid to come to a member of Congress. We will protect you, and we'll make sure that the truth is out. Thank you.
Anything you can give Scott about?
We've been watching the missing scientists. Nothing, nothing on the missing scientists, General McCaslin. Just
Shady, y'all in the media, you'll figure it out. Of course, there's something going on. You had 14 rabbis, 14 preachers, 14 used car salesmen disappear. You'd be asking questions. There's something going on.
Congressman?
What?
Missing congressman. Thomas Keene Jr., the missing congressman.
Nothing to do with UFOs. I think he just ill.
What's the biggest wow that you've seen, Congressman Burchett?
Well, since you bear a striking resemblance to Cecil Spielberg, I mean. The biggest wow to talk about it. That's the problem.
Burchett for president.
Burchett for president.
Yeah.
That comment?
That's
That's a slogan.
Yeah, what can we do as normal people?
Blow up phones, essentially. Send a lot of emails that get filtered through that will never make the light of day.
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah, I mean, so in reality, nothing.
Yeah.
So. Okay. All right, guys, it looks like this is done. Plus, I need to get over to Sam. It cleared out. There's a lot of people. I'm not gonna do an interview. I want to get over to Sam. Yeah, I know. I gotta get the.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank
excuse
you
me.
for coming and
Oh
hanging
man,
out with us for today.
standing in one spot hurt my back and my toes. All right, I'm looking forward to a break. All right, guys. I'm gonna give you a couple minutes before I get everything together. Yeah. Like all of a sudden this whole area cleared out. Okay. So the orb I saw was like 7 or 8 inch. Black. Okay. Question for, okay. I wasn't able to get any questions, anything else like that. Maybe next time, I won't show up so early. I'll be a little bit more rested, and stuff like that. But this was a learning experience, guys. Paranoid. As soon as I get settled up and walking out of here, I'll give you a ring. For the rest of you guys, thank you for being here. And we'll see you tonight at 6 when we do the interview with Carrie Elrod. Thanks for being there.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for joining us today. So, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was, something that you wanted to see, or we. However, I think that they're going to keep pushing this. I think that this was actually part of a documentary or a movie or some kind of shit. I'm not sure. I'm still looking into it. I'm still digging into it. Like I said, when we were searching for it today, I started looking into it. Started seeing what was going on, and the whole thing was a mess. Whole thing was a mess. Only like News Nation was talking about this as an official event. I couldn't find anything on the Congress website. Couldn't find anything on these other things. When I searched it online on Google and Copilot and all the other AI services, they all said it was a fake event. And I'm like, I got somebody there, and I know about it, and I heard about it from other sources. But there are individuals and people who did not want them to see this and broadcast it and do everything else, which is a concern. I'm not sure what's going on with this, but the more and more and more that this stuff stacks up and packs up, I think